Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain to you how to find the last answer or how to simplify this long expression. Before I keep going with this, the topic that I want to concentrate on, which is like terms. So, to keep going with this topic, which is like terms, let me ask you some of the simple questions. For example, if you have one apple, okay, plus two apples, I believe that all of you will say immediately we add 1 and 2 to get 3. And then what we have is apples, so the answer will be apples. As the same thing when we are talking about, like, if you have $1 plus, okay, $2, in this case, immediately we will say that I have 1 plus 2, which is equal 3, okay, 3, and what we have is dollar, so the answer will be like dollar. The same thing if you have, for example, in math, if you have 1 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 2, immediately we should say that what we have is 1 added to the 2, so the answer is 3, and what we have is actually the square root of 2, so the answer will be 3 square root of 2. The same thing if you have 1x plus 2x. What do you think the answer will be? So the answer in this case should be immediately 1 plus 2 added to the 2, which is 3, and we have just x, so now the answer will be 3x. Based on this, we can say that the like terms, and the like terms in math here, when we have the same variable as we have x and x, it doesn't matter about the coefficient. Here is 1 or 2, totally different, that's fine. But the most important thing, we have the same variable. And at the same time, we have the same exponent. For example, we have 1 and 1. Or for example, we can have 2 and 2. So if we have 1x to the power 2 plus 2x to the power 2, the answer again, 1 added to the 2, which is 3. But what we have is x to the power 2. Now, let's start with this question as follows. Let's talk about this one. We have the variable x. Yes, we have variable x here. We have variable x here, the same as here, the same as here. We have no variable x in this term. So, when we see the exponent, we have a 3. But I see that we have 2, but we have here 1, we have 2, we have 1, and we don't have any variable. So the 3, we don't have any other x with the power 3 or with the exponent 3. So we take it down. 8x to the power 3 over 7, for example. Then, keep going with the x to the power 2, this term. What we see that we have here the x to the power 2. So actually what we have here is negative 6x to the power 2. So we need to take it together. Let me just erase this first. So what we have here is negative 6x to the power 2, and I have here negative 12 over 14x to the power 2. What we have is, so we can divide this by 1. Then we need for the denominator to be the same, so we can actually multiply by 14. By the identity property of multiplication, we have 1 multiplied by 14, it's 14. So now we have here 14, so the denominator is the same. As much as you multiply the denominator by 14, you should multiply the numerator by 14. Now, using the simple calculation, using the calculator, we can see that, okay, 14 multiplied by negative 6 So the answer is here 14 times negative 6, which is negative 84 x to the power 2 over 14 multiplied by 1, which is 14. Now what we have is subtract. Okay, 12, we can write it as 12x to the power 2 over 14. Now we have negative 84 and negative 12. We can use the calculator like this. So negative 84 and negative 12. The answer is together, it's 96 or negative 96 over 14. Remember that here we have like terms. So we have x squared as the answer. So the answer here will be something like this, negative 96 x squared over 14. Now, if we keep going, we can see that here is the x to the power 1. And we have here the like terms as x to the power 1. So now we can add these terms together. Let me erase everything first. So I can write it down like this. So I have 10x to the power 1, and I have plus 9 over 2x to the power 1. We can write it as 9x to the power 1 over 2. Now we can see that the denominator here is 1 and the denominator here is 2. Actually, we can make it the same denominator using the identity property of multiplication. So 1 times 2 equal 2. Now we have the denominator as 2 and the denominator as 2. But as we multiply the denominator by 2, we should multiply the numerator here by 2. So now 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. We have x to the power 1 over 2 plus 9x to the power 1 over 2. Then we can use the like terms property like this, 12 plus 9, 12x plus 9x. Immediately we should write 29 as 20 plus 9 equal 29. And we have what? We don't have apples, we don't have dollars, we just have x to the power 1. So we have x to the power 1 over 2. So the answer here is what? Plus 29 over 2x. And finally, we can see that the constant, I don't have any other constant, so I can write it as follows, negative 15 over 2. In this case, after the last lesson, we have now the third video about this topic. We started with multiplication of polynomial, reaching to the final answer, which is 8x to the power 3 over 7 minus 96 over 14x to the power 2 plus 29 over 2x minus 15 over 2. Of course, we can eventually simplify more and more, simplify this fraction or change it to be decimal based on the options that you could have in any test you could face in the future. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you get the idea about multiplication of polynomial. See you guys in next videos to make the math more and more easy.